to sports adventure, amazing trips to awesome locations. This week, it's a road trip in the company of some of the biggest names in European freeriding as they head north to Finland and Lapland for a 3-week-long winter sports odyssey. So Finland is the destination, but first we join the team as they set off from Verbier in Switzerland for the long, hard trip north to the Arctic Circle and beyond. We'd always dreamed of going free-riding in the country of reindeer and Santa Claus, but to be honest, we just didn't realise how far Lapland is from Switzerland. After 20 hours of driving, we'd only just got through Germany and we reached Rostock to head for a ferry. The opportunity to get 5 hours of rest was too good to waste. As we arrived in the land of the Vikings, we realised we'd only got halfway through the journey and we still had hundreds of straight roads through the forest to swallow before we could reach Finland. And of course it was impossible to cross Lapland without stopping in Rovaniemi, because Rovaniemi, well, that's Santa's village. Such is the exciting life of a freerider. There's no doubt, of course, that Santa Claus actually exists, but nevertheless we took the opportunity to indulge ourselves a little. The theme of the photo shoot was going to be pretty obvious, even if we did have to make our own costumes. How do you like this? This is my Columbia Pro model. And of course, like big kids, we had great fun.
Bonjour! Je la remets par terre, hein. Je la remets par terre.
Even though I'm a well-known free rider, I always enjoy riding the pipe. Polo and I had fun competing for the biggest air. And of course, I won.
Là, on est à Rovaniemi, sur le cercle polaire. Là, on monte tout au nord de la Finlande, à Kilpisjärvi. Là, on est entre la Suède, Norvège et Finlande, pile au point. C'est là qu'on va faire l'hélico.
Au nord, bien plus au nord.
We're heading north, more north, much more north. That way. Free riding in Lapland brings us an amazing feeling of freedom because we always fly over the border of Finland, Sweden and Norway. Approaching the faces by hiking or skidoing is pretty long, so the heli really is the only reasonable way of reaching the summits. One of the particular things about these summits is the fact that they're so close to the ocean. When it snows, it can dump huge amounts. On the other hand, the wind blows over the summits and the snow conditions vary a lot from one spot to another. If you make the right choice, you can find powder spots and enjoy the ride.
Alors, route comment?
Bah, c'est beau, hein?
C'est beau, hein?
On va rider là.
beaucoup de Beworks. On a vu, on a ridé.
We've seen, we've been riding, now it's time for beers. Let's eat and sleep and start again tomorrow. It was a great day, amazing day heli skiing.
It was good to see everyone again. The arrival was very warmly welcomed, and we had a big party, and I got to know Polo on this evening because he had his birthday, and that had to be celebrated.
Happy birthday to you. Olé! La qualité de la neige étant assez médiocre,
As the snow conditions were pretty poor, we decided to go into the Norwegian canyons to look for ice
c'est qu'en Norvège, au
cascades.
fond de certains canyons qu'on a pu trouver des cascades de glace à escalader. La descente était assez impressionnante.
The descent was frightening,
Surtout qu'on avait
especially because we brought all our equipment, ropes and crampons, photo and video, including a crane. That way we could get some really spectacular shots with the video camera.
Pour faire mes photos, je me suis installé dans une
To get the shots, I found myself in a hugely uncomfortable position, hanging over the ice cascade 15 meters above the ground for more than 3 hours. I got some cramps.
Try to choose the spot for the tents well, the location to sleep, because we knew we were going to spend the next 5-6 days there, and we wanted to make sure to have a lot of possibilities to ride. We needed a flat spot, more or less a flat spot for the tents for sure, and nearby branches to make fire, that we don't have a long way to go to get some. We found the right spot, just nearby a little pass, and we had a nice little face to play around just in front of us, and it was quite wind unaffected, so we had a good time there. Because of the changing weather conditions, it was really hard to plan a big hike. So we rather stayed around the camp and built a kicker and had a lot of fun on that little wind lip. We found this little canyon with a nice patch of snow and a little wind lip where we could take off. And so we shaped it, and to get some speed, we just used our ski-doos.
Welcome back as now we rejoin the team around a campfire in the depths of the Arctic winter.
There was a face we checked out on our way to build up the tents, and on the second day we tried to get over there and get in a few shots. The weather, although, wasn't on our side. The face was quite wind-packed and the clouds moved very fast, so we weren't really lucky with light and weather conditions.
One day, Maria, Ruth and I felt like riding one of the big summits. So we went for Mount Peltsan. Mount Peltsan culminates at 1,442 meters. It seems nothing, but when the wind blows at the speed of 150 kilometers an hour, I can tell you things are pretty tricky. In the end, Ruth and Maya had to stop just below the summit, and I reached the top on my own. And there, I wondered what conditions must be like at an altitude of 8,000 meters in the Himalaya. I reached the summit. Unfortunately, the girls couldn't make it. With the winds blowing 150 kilometers an hour up here, and during the hike. I just never experienced that before. It's terrible. But I'm pleased to be here. Peltsan, 1,450 meters. Let's see what we can do.
La descente était magnifique. La face nord
The descent was absolutely amazing. The north face had been protected from the winds, and I enjoyed it from the top right to the bottom, 800 meters. No tracks, one of those moments when you feel really alone on the planet.
On s'est aussi pas mal fait plaisir sur la petite
We
face.
also enjoyed riding some of the very small faces close to our camp. Not too much height, of course, with some wind lips and rocks to jump. We went there every day at sunset to take advantage of the nice light.
Yes, I.
Polo et moi, on s'est découvert pendant ce voyage.
I met
On s'est
Polo
très
for
bien
the first
entendus.
time during this
On s'est
trip,
trouvé une
and we
petite
really
équipe
hit it
pour
off.
se rider en simultané.
Riding that day, we
On s'est
checked
fait
a
super
line
plaisir
together.
à la rider.
We
La
really
neige
enjoyed it.
était
The
légère,
snow was
c'était-
fantastic,
ça
really
reste un très
light
bon
in
moment
some
du voyage.
parts. It remains one of the best moments of the trip.
Après une semaine de campement en altitude,
After 1
nous
week of
avions
camping in the
avec la
mountains
mer.
of Lapland, we had a rendezvous to make with the sea.
Alors nous avons quitté la Finlande, traversé la frontière.
So we left
pour la
Finland,
route
crossed the
ouest,
border to head west to Tromsø in Norway
pour
to
découvrir
discover the
les fjords,
Lyngen
les
Alps
Alpes de
and the
Lyngen,
fjords by
à bord
boat.
d'un bateau.
On a dû aller rechercher Polo à l'aéroport.
We had to go and get Polo from the airport. He'd left us for a week.
Monsieur
Yes,
avait
Mr.
rendez-vous
Polo
avec
had had an appointment at the Élysée Palace with his friend Jacques Chirac.
C'est aussi ça d'avoir un
That's what having an Olympic medalist in the team's all about.
Yes, ça va amigo? Cool.
Alors, voilà, comment c'est passé?
Bah tout bien, du beau temps.
Cool.
Et toi comment Jacques?
Tranquille.
Même cousin Jacques.
Ah, l'Élysée, c'était rigolo, ouais.
Ouais.
Bon délire.
Top.
I was really excited about the idea to take a boat and ride through the fjords of the Lyngen Alps.
I am the taxi driver on this trip.
We found this little harbor after about 6-7 hours ride, and we arrived there in the evening.
Well, unfortunately, we have to leave the team at that point. We will rejoin them as their trip heads ever further north later in the series. Next week, though, it's mountain biking in Nepal. Join us for that on Sports Adventure.